I can't stop this feeling deep inside me. Girl, you just don't realize what you do to me. And I hold you in my arms tonight, and I told you everything's alright. I'm hooked on a feeling.
Just want to say, hey guys, it's Klaus. Hey, you know, I told you I'd never show another T-67 replay. You know, that overpowered, invisible Tier 5 TD with the turret and the great camo and the speed and the great gun. The only weakness of this TD is that it just sometimes doesn't have enough ammunition to keep killing all the pathetic low-tier enemy useless stupids that you have to play at these low-tier. But, you know, I am surprised, and I'm going to show you this one because it just illustrates exactly well, it just illustrates the T-67 anomaly that still exists in this game. And I was going to say, there are some tanks that you could drive that are the perfect seal clubbing machines, right? And it's hard at high tiers. Like, you get to tier 8, 9, and 10, and there's really not a tier 8, 9, and 10 tank you can reliably go out and seal club because you know, you're playing other tier 8, 9, and 10 tanks. There's a lot of good tanks. There's a lot of good players with good crews and stuff, but at the low tiers, at 1, 2, 3, like who gives a shit? 4 is kind of a waste of time, but you get to tier 5, you know, and you start looking at all the tier 5 tanks and their attributes and their statistics, and then you see this little T-67, the gun, the camo, and if you're a player that you play this thing a lot and you end up with a crew with full camo, maybe 2 or 3 skills, right? You end up playing this tank versus other tier 5s and sometimes 4s, who, you know, statistically, on average, you get a lot of players that haven't played the game much, that don't have highly, you know, maybe they have a crew with no skills, no camo. Maybe they got an 80% crew that they just moved from their tier 3 tank into their tier 4 tank, so they have shit view range, right? And then you play this thing, and you've got a highly skilled crew. You've got camo, you've got Binox, camo net, right? You got a lot of APCR, and you basically sit in a bush, and you have enemies that are, what are they? Look at the mini-map there. They're like 300 meters away. You know, they're well inside the green circle and the white circle, but you know, you're invisible because you have every crew member has 100% concealment. You have a camo net. You're not moving. You don't have to because you have a turret, and you can just sit in a bush, you know, 200-300 meters from the enemies, and just shoot them. And these poor little guys in their tier 4 tanks, they're just, maybe they've played 500 games. They're wondering, who keeps shooting me? I keep getting hit, but I can't see. But they don't even understand the spotting mechanics yet. And you're in an invisible tank, just pounding the living daylights out of them. It's fun to play this, isn't it? Look at the skill required, right? You can sit in the bush, and as long as you don't move and your camo net's engaged, and your fully trained crew with 100% concealment gets your camo rating up to, I don't know, what is it, 40%? Do you guys know how that works? All right, let's say you have what does this thing have as its, every tank has its own camo rating. I'm not sure what it is for the T-67, like, I don't know, 15%, or I'm just guessing. You can look it up. Let's say it has 15% regular camo, okay? That means you reduce the enemy's detection range of you by 15%. So if an enemy, and down at these low tiers, let's say someone has 300 meter view range, and you have 15% camo, you decrease that view range by 15%, right? So that's 45. 15% of 300 is 45. So they have to be not 300 meters away from you, but 255. Am I right? 255 meters to see you. That's how close they have to be to you. But let's say you have 100% camo skill on your crew. Well, that basically doubles. You go from 15 to 30. Then you have a camo net on a TD that gives you another 15%. So you're up around 45. Then you're in a bush. You know, the bush could have 25% camo. So you're up around, I don't know, 60, 70% concealment. So, the enemy has 300-meter view range, but you've reduced that view range by 60-70%. And that drops a little bit when you shoot your gun. But it's still way up there. I don't know, probably around 20, 30, 40%. So you just sit in a bush, right? And you just shoot over and over and over again. And the enemies can be 200-300 meters away. And they don't see you. And there's not a lot of tanks at Tier 5 in which you can do this. That you also have a gun that does good damage, that reloads fast, that's pretty accurate, that just, shoots over and over and over again. It's only when you get spotted, only when you finally get spotted, that enemies can shoot you back and you have no armor and you'll get killed. Now, if you're a noob, if you just started the game and this is your first Tier 5 tank and you move your crew from the Tier 4, but you don't have any gold, so the crew's at 80%, it's got no skill. You drive out in this thing with no skilled crew, 80% crew, no camo net, right? You're going to get spotted in the first 2 minutes of the game, shot, and die. And you'll say, oh, this tank sucks. But if you've been around the block and you've played a lot of games, you've made it up to, I don't know, Tier 8, 9, 10, and you say, I really like that T-67. I'm going to move a good crew into this thing and go back to the low tiers and do a little seal clubbing. This is the ultimate. Look at this.
Enemy armor destroyed.
Female crew. What does that tell you? He's got a female crew in this. He's completed missions and done all this work with high tier tanks, and he's got himself a female crew reward. And where did he put them? Did he put them in his Tier 10 medium tank? Did he put them in his Tier 9 TD? No, he put it in his Tier 5 Seal Clubber. And I don't know. I decided to show you this game just to illustrate the ridiculousness of this little tank. And hey, it's a lot of fun. I tell you, if you're a dedicated T-67 player and you don't do it with a new crew. If you got a good crew and you've got all the perks, I'm surprised he doesn't have camo paint. That's another thing that adds another 3%. But if you do it all right, this thing is a Tasmanian devil monster. You can just carry low tier games. And I'm just wondering how long this thing is going to be left in the game the way it is. I mean, they fucking nerfed just about everything, right? All the little Tasmanian devils that I've ever played have all been nerfed. The ELC's nerfed. All these tanks have been nerfed. But this guy somehow is still the same old tank, the same old seal clubber. A lot of people love it if you play it, and a lot of people hate it if you're playing against it. How much longer is this thing going to last in the game unnerfed? Who cares? Play it while you can. I guess there has to be some low-tiered, overpowered stuff in this game to have a little bit of fun. And you know what? I'm not even going to show you the post-game stats because you know what you're going to see? He did all the damage, and he did everything, and he won all the medals.
I can't stop this feeling deep inside of me. Girl, you just don't realize what you do to me. And I hold you in my arms tonight, and I told you everything's alright. I